430,000 years ago, in a cave in northern Spain, someone was murdered. We know this because in 2015, scientists pulled a skull from a pit 13 meters underground. They called it Cranium 17, and it had 2 holes in it. Not 1, 2, in exactly the same spot. This is the story of the oldest murder we can prove. The cave is called Sima de los Huesos, the Pit of Bones. It sits inside a mountain in the Atapuerca hills, and to get to it, you have to crawl through half a kilometer of tunnels and then rappel down a 13-meter vertical shaft. And when you reach the bottom, you find them. At least 28 people. Men, women, children. All from the same species. All dead. These people were not modern humans. They lived before the Neanderthals even existed. Scientists call them Homo heidelbergensis. Big brains, big bodies, big brows. They hunted horses and deer with wooden spears. They cared for their sick. And, apparently, they killed each other. Cranium 17 belonged to a young adult. Male or female, we cannot tell. But we can tell how they died. Above the left eyebrow, there are 2 holes. Each one is a rough oval, about the size of a fingernail. The team who studied the skull used forensic techniques normally used for modern crime scenes. They compared the fracture patterns to what happens when bone is struck with different weapons, and they concluded with very high confidence that these were not accidents. A fall would leave 1 impact point. A rock dropped from above would leave 1 impact point. These were 2 in exactly the same place at slightly different angles. That means someone hit this person, then repositioned, then hit them again to make sure. It was intentional. It was lethal. And it was, technically, the earliest homicide ever documented in the human family tree. But here is where it gets stranger. The body was not left where the murder happened. Someone carried it down the tunnels to the edge of the shaft and dropped it in, along with, over centuries, 27 more bodies. Sima de los Huesos is not a graveyard by accident. Someone, or many someones, chose this place, chose to bring their dead here, which means our murderer, or the murderer's tribe, participated in what may be the oldest funeral we have ever found. Think about that. 400,000 years before writing, before agriculture, before the wheel, before dogs, before religion as we know it, a group of pre-humans understood that when one of them died, the body should go somewhere specific. Not thrown in a river, not left for scavengers, placed, deliberately, in the dark, underground. And here we hit the biggest question in paleoanthropology. Was the murder part of the funeral, or was the funeral in spite of the murder? Did the killer help carry the body, or was the killer never caught? Was this a war, a jealous lover, a power struggle, a ritual sacrifice? We will never know. The trail went cold about 400,000 years ago. What we do know is this. The weapon was probably a wooden club or a stone hand axe. The victim was face to face with the attacker when it happened, meaning they saw them coming, which means they knew them. Because in a tribe of maybe 30 people, everyone knew everyone. This was not a stranger. This was almost certainly a friend. And then the tribe carried the friend down the tunnels to the pit and let them go. We used to think that violence and ceremony were things that came later, that they belonged to modern humans, to civilization, to complexity. Cranium 17 says no. They were already here, in us, before we were even us. Today, if you visit Atapuerca, you can look down into that same pit. The bones are still coming out, nearly 7,000 of them so far. And somewhere in that darkness, 400,000 years old, there was a moment, a raised weapon, a face someone recognized, and a decision that echoed across 400 millennia, all the way to you, right now, hearing this story. The oldest murder, the oldest funeral, both in the same skull. If you found this story fascinating, subscribe. Next episode, the woman who lived alone on an island for 18 years. This is Paleolines.